same molecule, same receptor. One patient improves, another becomes suicidal. This is not a rare side effect. This is the fault line running through everything we thought we understood about how these compounds work. Psilocybin and MDMA reduce suicidal thinking. The clinical trials are clear, but LSD, acting on the same serotonin pathways, shows the opposite. Higher odds of suicidality, not lower. The answer to why was sitting in a completely different field. For years, nobody connected them. The working theory was elegant. Psychedelics trigger neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. Depression, PTSD, OCD, all conditions where neural circuits become rigid, locked. The compounds loosen those circuits. The brain can finally change. This explained everything. 9 different domains of research kept arriving at the same mechanism. 69% convergence across the entire field. But it could not explain the suicidality finding. If plasticity was the mechanism, if loosening rigid circuits was the cure, then LSD should work the same way. It triggers the same receptor, the same downstream cascade, the same neural reorganization. Something else was happening, something the plasticity model was blind to. The signal was buried in veteran trauma research, a completely separate line of inquiry. Clinicians working with treatment-resistant PTSD noticed a pattern. The compounds worked, but only when the therapeutic container was right. Same dose, same molecule. Radically different outcomes depending on the structure around the experience. This was not about the drug. This was about what the drug made possible. When researchers mapped the clinical trials more carefully, the distinction emerged. Psilocybin and MDMA protocols involved extensive preparation, guided sessions, integration afterward. The therapeutic relationship was part of the treatment. The LSD studies showing increased suicidality? Many were population surveys, recreational use, no container, no support. The molecule opens a window. What happens next depends on what comes through it. But this creates a deeper problem. If the therapeutic context is essential, if the drug alone is not the treatment, then every efficacy trial has measured 2 variables at once: the compound and the container. Inseparable. The FDA rejected MDMA-assisted therapy for PTSD. Insufficient evidence, they said. The trials showed it worked, but the agency could not determine what was doing the working. The same uncertainty haunts every finding in the field. 3 experiments could resolve it. Block the receptor while keeping the therapeutic context. Measure whether the plasticity alone produces the clinical change. Test whether the container works without the compound. No one has run those experiments. The answer exists in principle, but not yet in data. What the veteran research revealed was not a flaw in the model. It was the missing variable the model could not see. Neuroplasticity is the mechanism. The evidence for that remains strong, but plasticity is not inherently therapeutic. A brain becoming more changeable can change in any direction. The clinical outcomes, the remissions from depression, the release from trauma, require something the molecule cannot provide alone. Direction, meaning, a frame for the experience to land inside. The suicidality paradox is not a contradiction. It is a measurement artifact, the same mechanism, opposite contexts, opposite results. This changes what treatment means. A pill you take alone is not the same intervention as a pill you take inside a guided, supported, intentional container. They may share a molecule. They are not the same medicine. The brain's capacity to change is not the cure. It is the opening. What fills that opening, what gives the change direction, is the part no trial has isolated. And until someone designs the experiment that separates them, every clinical finding in this field rests on a foundation it cannot fully see. Same molecule, same receptor. One patient improves, another becomes suicidal. The answer was always in the data, in a field that was never supposed to touch this question. It took years to see it, and the experiment that would prove it still has not been run. Psilocybin and MDMA reduce suicidal thinking. LSD, acting on the same serotonin receptors, increases it. Same molecular pathway, opposite outcome. This isn't a rare side effect buried in adverse event reports. This is the fault line running through 60 years of psychedelic research. And nobody can explain why 3 nearly identical compounds split so violently at the point that matters most.